Smart 24, driving business.
Good morning, Smart Men's Business viewers. I hope you had a lovely weekend. This is me, Batuma Godwin, joining you this morning with Inid and Kunda. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. It's quite chilly this morning. If you noticed, it rained all morning, but then at least it stopped raining at the time we're meant to come to work, so I was very grateful for that. But I hope you all had a very eventful weekend. There's a lot we're going to get into today and a lot we're going to discuss today, especially getting into the festive season as we already are. There's so many conversations around entrepreneurship and what the landscape of entrepreneurship is. Of course, I'm joined this morning by the lovely Inid and Kunda. Inid, how was your morning?
It was good, but it was a cold one.
Yes.
Good morning, our viewers of Smart 24 TV, where we are driving your business, and it's yet another morning for us to drive your business. Of course, today we are talking about Africa's entrepreneurship venture. So we're going to look into the entrepreneurship in Africa.
Right, there's a lot to talk about, right? As you know, Africa right now has become such a lucrative space for entrepreneurship, where you're finding a lot of international entrepreneurs are definitely coming in and investing in the African continent. I mean, we've seen all the conversations with Kenya and Ruto having these many summits with the different entrepreneurs in the different countries. We've seen that with Samia in Tanzania, and we're seeing that with our own president as well, having these conversations. And having come from the October Uma showground, it was such an amazing experience for me because I was able to see so many young startups. I mean, Africa is rapidly growing in the ecosystem regarding entrepreneurship, right? And I saw so many young people coming in, so many young startups. I saw people that are doing electric cars now, which is amazing, right? I saw young people doing beads, people doing detergents, soap. It was amazing for me because we're able to see that because of the state of the employment system, of course, in Uganda now, we have to look for other options to be able to think entrepreneurially and come out of that space of working for someone, right?
Yes.
So I don't know, what are your thoughts in regarding to where we're at and what are some of the skills that we're taking on in this African space right now in terms of entrepreneurship? What are your thoughts on that, Ined?
According to me, when it comes to mostly our country, Uganda, I see like young people out there, we're given our education system whereby, you know, we are taught to be the job seekers after so now people are moving from that to being job creators, because you would see people doing liquid soap, the young people, they're trying to do something, they come up with something. So I feel like the innovation levels are now getting there, we're almost there. So every day a person is bringing out something new. They are trying to, you know, adopt to the new technologies, and they're trying to create something new, which is really a good thing, because at least it also helps us when it comes down to employment, the employment rate. At least we are not waiting to, you know, apply somewhere and I'm waiting to be called for a job or something. At least I know I would do something and it brings in income. So.
Right. Isn't it funny how you apply for a job and you have to go through like 3 phases, right? There's day 1, there's day 2 of the interviews, then they call you for the 3rd interview. You're thinking,
and I think you're even lucky to be called for an interview, because sometimes you apply and actually sit there and
I do not know how many times I've applied on LinkedIn for all these jobs. They call you back, they don't call you back.
Exactly.
And for me, the worst experience is when they do call you back and you have to go through like a slew of interviews for like 3 days, only to find out, I'll go into another person. Because guess what's happening? Many of them are hiring internally. So you find that they put the job advert out just for formality, but they're not actually planning to hire you. So the state of employment right now in Uganda has caused people to sort of think outside the box, right? So now we're thinking, how can I start to think entrepreneurially?
Yes.
But of course, this is also hindered by many factors, right? We have a lot of foreign intervention that comes in, but we have the government as well. If they're not fully supporting the young entrepreneurs, if they're not fully supporting the startups, if our laws and policies aren't favorable to them, you find that they have to pay a lot of money in taxes, right, for these young businesses. Someone has barely started out his business, but they're demanding them for exorbitant prices, right, in taxes, and they barely can keep the ground running, which is why you're finding a lot of Ugandans do not have paperwork. A lot of Ugandans are evading taxes. So those are some of the things that, some of the challenges that we're facing in the entrepreneur space. And what are some of the skills, as you mentioned, going deep into that a young entrepreneur right now can take on? What are those marketable skills that you can say, listen, if you're tired of looking at the job market, what can you do to start out? What are your thoughts on that?
With me, I think every entrepreneur out there, most of the young people like us, you should have the skill of salesmanship.
Yes.
Because you know, when salesmanship in business, entrepreneurship business, it is either you're selling to someone, okay, it involves sales. You're selling to a business, those wholesalers, you're selling to customers. So you need to have that skill of selling out something.
That is a very good point that you've mentioned about selling, because a lot of people do not know how to sell. Many of my jobs that I've done leading up to this, for many that know, sales and marketing. That's my sphere. I did, of course, mass communication with a bias in sales and marketing. So I understand that if you're starting a business, you have to be able to sell it.
Exactly.
And now that you mentioned about the digital technologies that we're taking on, we're in a space now where AI systems have come on board, right? So we're finding that digital marketing is something we have to be good at.
Exactly.
People are starting up their young businesses, but they are not willing to put in the work to go online, market it, pay for that advertising, pay for that sort of like for the ad to run more, because they're thinking, I'll just run it organically. But in the world that we live in now, especially for older entrepreneurs, right, who are not as tech savvy, they're thinking, I don't need to do that. But the thing is, if you don't have that skill to be able to digitally market, you have to be able to hire someone that can do it for you, because the landscape has changed. We now live in an age where everything's online. I mean, before I go to your shop, I'm going to look at it online. I'm going to look at reviews of your product, right? I'm going to look and say, okay, it's a new business, they do skin products, what is the reviews like? So there's a particular person that I follow online called Kara. Every time she's reviewing men and female perfumes and skin care, so people actually rely on these people for their actual views before they go to these shops. So digital marketing is another skill that people need to be able to hone in, especially IT. We have to be able to learn IT and sales management. What else do you think you need to?
Another skill, I think, problem solving.
Yes.
Yeah, because there is no way I'm going to deal in, I'm going to try and venture into maybe agriculture, you know, the slave farmers, and to do agriculture, but I don't want to do the dirty work. So, but then I don't have that
the
skill.
slave farmers.
Yeah, the slave farmers. But then I don't have those skills. Like, you need to do problem solving, or, okay, there's this coming up, so I need to do this. I need to know how to handle this, you know, like risk management, literally. Equip yourselves with such skills. Dive deep, like do that intense research about something you're going to venture in before you get into something. That is
such a good point in that you made. A lot of people want to become, as you mentioned, the slave farmers or slave investors. So what they do is they just get a bunch of money. And we talked about why the state of entrepreneurship, I think 2 months ago, is failing, because a lot of people aren't willing to do the groundwork. They're not willing to get their business and actually go to put that pedal to the metal and do their research on the product. Let's say you're starting a detergent company. You don't even know what's involved. What are the products that are healthy to be used, that are not risky to be used? You just say, let me just invest in this because this person is doing soap, I might as well. So 5 years down the road, when you're faced with litigation, when you're struggling and they're telling you why this product that you sourced was illegally sourced, this, and you have nothing to say, because all you are doing is paying someone to do all the groundwork for you. But actually involved from the grassroots level, you're able to understand this is what's involved from the beginning stages to the middle stages, to the selling process, as you mentioned, to the digital marketing process. If you're fully involved as an entrepreneur, gone are the days where we just invest now. We have to be fully drenched in immersing ourselves in doing the research, right? So we have to be problem solvers and we have to immerse ourselves in incredible research, right? So just a little bit of the key trends in Africa's entrepreneurship ecosystem. What are some of these trends? We see here there's the rise of mobile technology. So you find that because of mobile technology, ubiquitous Africa, and they're being used to develop innovative solutions to a wide range of challenges, from financial inclusion or healthcare. So you find that people are able to get better loans right now on these institutions, right? So mobile loans and all this stuff, right? This wasn't there maybe 10, 15 years ago. So that has completely changed the scope of entrepreneurship. Now we find and I saw this recently where Airtel has started, I think, the Wendy wallet. They just launched it, Wendy, not Wendy, like Wendy wallet, like in Uganda. And I was curious about it this morning as I was researching. And they said, no, the Wendy wallet is going to help a lot of circles, a lot of young investors, that where you put money in and that money can be used to invest bigger into different circles, different schemes. So you find that a lot of this mobile technology has enhanced the ability for people to be able to become entrepreneurs. I don't know what your thoughts on that.
No, that would be a very good thing, because, you know, many of us are limited by resources or the funds. So now when we have like a Wendy wallet, as you said, I'm able to get, at the end of the day, I'm able to get those resources or the funds we've collected so far and maybe invest them in something bigger or something that is going to bring in more profit. So I think we are not going to sit down and wait on maybe the PDM money or, you know, waiting for that free money. Yeah, waiting for that money to come in. No, when you have this, you're able to know that, okay, after 3 months, if I've saved up maybe like my 1 million, I'm in position to invest it into something, and then it's going to bring out profits at the end of the day.
And that's very smart, because a lot of people now are also part of the circles, right? So we're finding a lot of these mobile platforms are able to support these circles. So you sign I think you link it onto the platform, so if there's a particular, let's say, merchant code that you can use to pay the money without being charged. So we're finding that a lot of these mobile networks are being able to support you being able to transfer money to this mobile wallet without just
more easier.
Right, and there's less charges on it. Like before, you just send someone's mobile money and they give you extra exorbitant charges. Right now, you can send it to a merchant code. I think MTN is doing that. And Airtel is doing that as well. So this is a way in which a lot of these movements with mobile technology has improved the entrepreneurship landscape right now.
Exactly.
Another thing we're seeing right now is the growth of e-commerce, right? So e-commerce is booming in Africa as more and more people are shopping online. This is creating opportunities for new businesses to emerge. So what's interesting about e-commerce right now is I do not need to have a setup shop of sorts. You know, you have your product and you're thinking, oh, I need to, because before, traditionally you would think, I have my product, I need to get a shop where someone can find me, because you think that's what we need to do. But as we mentioned, the world is changing, AI systems are coming on board, technology is where we are at. You can actually have a whole shop online. People even have e-kitchens. So they just have a kitchen online, so they just order your food and it's delivered to you. They don't even have to have a special kitchen in town that they're paying 2 million a month for. It becomes expensive.
It becomes expensive.
So someone can actually cook from their home or a house that they're not paying too much for. And then they deliver the products to you. So we're finding e-commerce has enabled that. What are your thoughts on this?
When it comes to e-commerce, I think it's actually a good thing. And many people out there should adopt to the use of e-commerce. Because with e-commerce, as you said earlier, I don't need a shop. I don't need a shop in town whereby I'm going to pay 1 million for a very small space. And then I have to tell people, oh my God, find me here. No, it's just all about using my social media platforms. I'm just going to wake up and these days, TikTok is booming. TikTok, like, I'm just going to wake up in the morning and then I'll get my products, put them there, post them, keep on posting all the time, and then with the numbers down, so a person is able to call and be like, yo, I need, let me say I'm doing jewelry, I need earrings and this, so please, where can I find you? Or you just be like, just give me your address and they'll be delivered there. So and that is as simple as that.
It's beautiful because it's driving traffic to your shop without you having to pay for a shop attendant, without having to pay for an askari. You get it where you're keeping your money in the safe at the shop. It becomes very laborious, becomes very scary. So right now, for those people that are advancing on the technology space, because believe it or not, there's so many people who don't believe in e-commerce yet. They're thinking, as long as I have my shop in town, my duka,
and of which these days, the funny thing is, these days, when you just sit down in, let me say, downtown there in your shop, and you don't advertise, trust me, the people won't find you. Because even these people that have shops have also started the use of the social medias and all that. Because they actually know, okay, fine, if they have a shop, that is also an upper hand, because you're able to tell someone, come and find me here. You know?
Right, and what's better about this is we're also finding that a lot of us, we talked about the merchant code earlier, it has become such a cashless economy, right? So because it's cashless, I won't even have to hold cash as I'm transacting with these people. You know, sometimes a lot of the shops worry about bulk. You have all this money that you hold, and then after that you have to take it to the bank. We're finding with these new merchant codes that are on board, right? You have them MTN merchant code, Airtel merchant code, Momo Pay. You find it's easier. Someone just orders something online, sends you the money to your merchant code, and you deliver the product to them. And there's no hustle and bustle of stressing, but the money is fake that you've gotten, you're verifying the money, because now you're delivering all the way in Chisasi, and someone gives you a 50 note that's fake. Or someone gives you 200k that's fake, and then you take it back to the shop to verify it, because the person who's taking the money might not even take the time to verify it. So now you bring it to the shop and they tell you, no, actually this money is fake. And you're thinking, and this happens a lot meanwhile. I've seen it a lot with Forex bureaus, I've seen it a lot with different people. They give you fake money, but because you're not so keen, and you're thinking, who's going to fake this kind of money? It happens more than you think. So in the whole process, you receive money to your shop, it's fake money and you can't use it. And the person is claiming, Zanakwade, I gave you money that, yes, so it's your fault.
Yeah.
So this allows it, because of the state of the cashless economy now, it's easier to do transactions, it's become much easier to do entrepreneurship and to do business. I think that's
and I think that is why most people are now getting into the business. Like it encourages many young people out there, like I don't need a shop, I don't need what, but provided I have my products, I know I can market them online and then I get customers. So it's encouraging many people out there to get into the business.
And I think that's why we're seeing so many more younger people coming on board, because they're thinking, listen, I'm not going to wait till I'm 60 to get that promotion as a job, because the person who's 60 is not quitting the job, and people don't want to quit anymore because of the state of affairs. The economy is down, people are struggling. So they're thinking, let me start something. Let me start my jewelry. I know Paul is doing that jewelry right. Right, so we're having the news today. In it, we'll be reading from the Daily Monitor, and I will be reading from the New Vision. We have some interesting news over here. We're seeing here, Ochola orders supervision of specialized units and police to revive special branch. We're also seeing here that Karuma adds 200 MW to national grid. So the acting project manager, Karuma Hydropower Project Engineer Paul Tumwine, talked to the board chairperson of the Uganda Electricity Generation Company Limited, Engineer Proscovia Margaret Wright, and the board members. You can find this on the first page of the New Vision. What's happening in the Daily Monitor?
In the Daily Monitor, we have Property Saga, Just Comedy, says Mobaje, and then Balalo Eviction from the North kicks off. Then Bad Roads, Boda Boda Tourist Attractions, says Envoy, and then we have Magistrate interdicted over graft. Wow. Then Monitor Board bids farewell to the MD.
To their MD, yeah?
Yeah.
That's very interesting, and more of that in the Daily Monitor.
Daily Monitor.
And we're also seeing here in the New Vision, Museveni reshuffles Fisheries Protection Unit Command. So we see that President Yoweri Museveni has appointed Lieutenant Colonel Masi Ada Tukahira as the new overall commandment of the Fisheries Production Unit, FPU. So Tuhakira, who has been serving as the FPU intelligence head, will tomorrow take over from Lieutenant Colonel Dick Kaija. Kaija confirmed the developments when contacted, but declined to provide more details regarding the matter. Anything else happening in the business news with the Monitor?
Yes, and then here we have a leader of opposition says Speaker has to ask government to respond to their demands. And then here we also have Iron Sheets, Chitutu na Ndutu make first trip to Karamoja. And then let's see what we have here in the business.
So as we see in the Daily Monitor, quite a lot is happening, right?
Yeah.
And we also see here, First Lady urges women on financial independence. This is interesting conversation.
Very interesting.
I love how the landscape has changed so much for the women, young women, and for the marginalized communities, where we're seeing a lot of focus on them. Actually, at Oma, I saw a lot of women business owners. Many consider more compared to many. To look back right now and think, wow, I saw a lot of women entrepreneurs. So I love that we are in the space where we're encouraging a lot of women, young women, older women as well, who are there, and a lot of marginalized communities to really be financially independent and not be dependent on their husband, especially in the rural areas.
And it's very frustrating, actually, depending on someone to like bring in everything. Then here we also have government commercial debts growing faster than concessional loans.
Interesting, right? That's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
And we also see in the New Vision, SFC provides update on Kampala roads upgrade. Please, would like an update on these roads because they're looking horrendous, right?
I know.
We see here the Special Forces Command SFC Construction Regiment has indicted its commitment to deliver a Kampala free of potholes within a specified period. I'm sure a lot of you are very excited to hear that news, that there is some leeway regarding having us a Kampala free pothole. I hope it happens because you know how it is. It'll be pothole free for the next 6 months, and then after a year, we find that the roads are bad again, especially in the rainy season. We need better roads.
Yeah. Then here we also have fish dealers welcome minimum price for fillet exports. Then halal standards limiting growth of Uganda's meat exports to UAE.
Right, and we're seeing in the East African news what's happening. We see that the new kid of the block, Somalia, has been admitted to the EAC But the real journey begins now as it seeks to put its house in order and domesticate crucial protocols for trade. This is a very interesting conversation. Somalia becomes the 10th country added to the East African community, which will be joining Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and Democratic Republic du Congo as well. So it's an interesting merger that's happening. I wonder if any more countries will be coming on board. But that's a very good one for us, right?
Yeah.
So we're also seeing here as, right, it's official, EA troops will exit Congo soon. So leaders have agreed to Kinshasa's demand to withdraw the regional peacekeepers. So that all that is happening in the East African news, the New Vision and the Daily Monitor, kindly check it out. Right now we're getting into our traffic update.
Yes.
As you can see, this road, are you familiar with this road? In it, this might be,
Ginger
I believe
Road?
that's Ginger Road next to Access Road. And as you can see, it's slightly busy. The time check right now is 7:19 coming to 7:20. But as you see, yes, it's quite, I passed by this road this morning. There's a puddle of water that feels like a swimming pool. That if your bike or your car goes into it, you don't know if you're going to fall in. You don't know how deep it is. You understand how scary that is. So you're going into this thing not knowing. That's how bad the roads are on Access Road. So I'm not surprised there's going to be a bit of jam on the Access Road for this morning, because if it continues to rain, and if it's anything like yesterday, where the rain continued throughout the day, or throughout the night, these puddles of water, if not fixed, are going to become extremely risky.
I think that is why we need
people.
that update.
This update, we need an update immediately, because the roads are so bad. I don't know about your side of town, but how bad is it?
No, it's all the same, literally ever. And now it becomes very yucky, and you know, it's very frustrating, because when it rains, it's even worse. You have the mud, you have the pools of water everywhere. So we need an update on these roads. Then it comes to even the road diversions.
Yes.
The traffic is, I don't know, mad.
It's become horrendous, like yes, like that road heading to like Namuongo side, it's completely blocked, right? So a lot of the cars have to be diverted.
Oh my goodness.
But now as they diverted, the roads we're diverting to are also bad. But as you can see for this morning, the cars are not that many. So if you're planning to go to work on Monday, please guys wake up and get to work. It's not raining. I know you're planning, it's almost the end. You know, towards the end of the month, people are now thinking about their salaries. They're thinking about, oh my goodness, I cannot be asked. I'm done with the month, and I think a lot of people are ready for Christmas.
Yeah, because 1st December is coming, and everyone is excited about,
December is coming. My birthday is coming on the 4th of December, next Monday. Yes, all of you remember it. Thank you. But it's an interesting time, so everyone is in that space. But as we're seeing, that is Ginger Road. There's a slight bit of movement. Is not too bad, just besides the roads being so bad. But of course, the border's already on the road moving. It's still 7:21, so this is a perfect time for us to be on the road moving before it gets to 8. Because normally I predict around 8, 9. I think that's where most jam comes. I don't know why.
I think most Ugandans don't like waking up early, because I think the jam comes in at that time, the hour of 8.
Yes.
Yes, so I think most Ugandans are like, oh, I think people have already gone to work, so.
And which is funny, because most work starts at 8 a.m., right? Forget us on air. For us on air, we have to be on like by 6 something. But guys, most of the work starts at 8, 8:30, and they start moving at 8, hoping to be there by 8. So they start moving at 8, hoping to be there by 8, and then that's where the jam starts. But I would encourage everyone to start moving this early, so that by 8, it's much clearer on
Actually,
the
I can
road.
see umbrellas, people moving with umbrellas.
That would be a good business. We talked about entrepreneurship. It could be a nice business for people right now. Buy a bunch of umbrellas from downtown and then sell them in here, uptown, sell them more expensively, because the need and the demand is there. It's raining heavy, and especially when it starts to really rain and drizzle, now is the perfect time. You go buy a bunch of umbrellas, like 60 of them from downtown, and stand by these roads in the morning.
Because trust me, you'll get customers.
Yes, you buy them at 5K downtown and sell them at 10K here. You'll actually make a profit. Because that's what people do. That's what most shops that are in town do. They go buy from downtown and then they sell them more expensively near your boutiques in town, right?
Yeah.
Which is very interesting, So the road is definitely moving. As we can see, this is the road coming from Garden City, right?
Yes,
this is the Garden City Road. So yes, along all the way to most of the cars are coming all the way from the Mulago area. So there's a really crazy roundabout around that side. So most of those cars are moving at this time. But I know around Mulago. Have you been at Mulago when there's jam around that roundabout? Because a lot of the cars.
Pass in the morning.
That's why you pass in the morning, right? Isn't it bad? Especially if it's coming. People are coming from Nankulabe. Others are coming from Ginger Chisasi. Then others are coming from Mulago beyond.
the Boise roundabout, we're all
roundabout.
joining in from there.
Right. So they're all merging at one roundabout, expecting to make it on time. I do not like to use that road a lot. Another road I try to avoid is Clock Tower. That's another one that is so heavily inundated with a lot of cars and very, very busy. But as we can see, the jam is slowly picking up. I think the next 25 minutes, we're going to see more of that halt.
Yeah, most of the cars coming from Nakawa area.
Nakawa area, I think some from Bugolobi, all of them are converging in, and you know, some of them from Mukono, who knows, that's Ginger Road, right?
Ginger Road.
So a lot of them are going to start to, because if you're seeing this many cars right now, I predict in the next 5-6 minutes, we're going to see a bit of jam happen.
Yeah.
So yes, there's a bit of a movement on Ginger Road, there's a movement on the road coming from Garden City, so now would be a really good time for us to start our movements and start to plan our movements. So that is it, I believe, for our traffic update. So if you need to start moving now. But the roads right now are clear, and it isn't raining because it might rain later in the day. So I think it's about time we start to move. Right now we're going in for a short break, and we will be back with a Karibu East Africa.
Yeah.